Okay, so today I wanted to share with you guys my divorce album Hall of Fame, my favorite divorce albums of all time. This is just something I randomly came up with and sent in one of my videos. I was like, you know what, I should actually talk about this and make it its own thing. So, starting off strong with Butterfly by Mariah Carey. If you follow me long enough, you knew that this was coming, as Mariah is my favorite artist of all time, and this is my favorite album of all time. A little bit of context behind it: she was married to Tommy Mottola, who was like the head of the record label at that time. And so, whenever she divorced him, you not only have to deal with the personal life and how controlling he was of her behind the scenes and who she could talk to and what she could wear and what she could do and all those things, but he's in charge of your career. So that was something that she really had to deal with, and he really tried to sabotage her for years to come after the divorce and everything. She still ended up winning in the end, and she talked about that in her book and interviews and all those things. But after she left him, I feel like she really flourished, creatively and, in her personal life in general. She was able to wear what she wanted to wear, show off her personality, and also go in more of a musical direction of what she wanted to do. So she could make more R&B music and, more hip hop, really go into that direction more. And I feel like it really benefited her with songs like Breakdown featuring Crazy Bone and Wishbone of Bone Thugs and Harmony. And there is a version with all of them, by the way. And so I agree with her that this could have been a huge hit because the Crossroads was big at the time. But of course, Columbia decided not to promote it because of the whole situation I just told you guys about, which is unfortunate because it deserves so much more. But it's a fan favorite for a reason. I love the music video. It is my favorite Mariah video. I love, just the color palette. And, shout out to Diane Martell for directing that and everything. Just what a moment. We really love to see it. And then I think that this is her most personal album. On the song Butterfly, she's literally saying it's what she wished Tommy told her. She's saying, spread your wings and prepare to fly, for you have become a butterfly. And, she's also saying, if you should return to me, then it was truly meant to be. So spread your wings and fly, butterfly. So very personal. I love the bridge on it. It's one of my favorites. I love the background vocalist on the song, the production on here, and her lead vocal. The whole song is very powerful. Top 10 Mariah Carey song all time for me. Close My Eyes is basically just about her childhood and the struggle she had to endure growing up, and she wrote it over 4 years. And for it to be as excellent as it is, shows her strengths as a songwriter for sure. Maya on the Roof are about Derek Jeter, as she details in her book, and The Roof is a fan favorite. And she's literally saying in the song, my apprehension blew away, I only wanted you to taste my sadness as you kissed me in the dark. So a masterclass in songwriting. I also really like the production with the Mobb Deep sample on here as well. And then I also just really enjoyed her vocals and vocal layering on here. If you listen to the song a cappella, it will blow your mind. And I also really like the version with Brandy as well. I think that that's a great song. Outside was basically about her struggles growing up biracial. As someone biracial, I can definitely relate to it, and I really appreciate what she was able to do with the song. Another very powerful moment on the record for sure. And there's a lot of other great moments on the record. Baby Doll, written with Missy Elliott, is definitely amazing. I love the bridge on there. She's saying, but do you care for me, beyond idolization, and great writing on there. And very reminiscent of Aaliyah, One in a Million, as Mariah has said herself. And then also 4th of July, definitely got to be one of my favorites just in terms of the pure songwriting. She's saying thunderclouds hung around so threateningly, ominously hovering, and the sky open wide, showering. Just a great, kind of moment of songwriting there. And there's just a lot to like about this album. It's a fan favorite for a reason. I just think that it was her peak in terms of her most personal songwriting. I loved her vocal arrangements and her vocal layering, and it's the best that it's ever been done on an album, if you let me tell it. And I also really liked the production on here a lot. I just think it's her artistic peak and her best album, and that's that. Next up, Chemistry by Kelly Clarkson. I feel like this didn't really get the praise that it deserved last year, unfortunately. It was my favorite album last year for what it's worth. And so, yeah, she kind of just talks about the struggles that she went through in her marriage in a lot of different songs, and it really is showing the arc of her relationship, which was ultimately her goal. And that's what I really liked about this album. Skip this part is kind of talking about a relationship ending, coming to terms with that, and you want to skip the part where it hurts and, the sadness and the anger that kind of comes with that. And I really liked that song overall. I Hate Love is like one of my favorite songs on this album for sure. I think it's super catchy. I really like the vocal delivery. I feel like it was unique. Steve Martin has a feature on there. Sheila E. is a feature on That's Right, which is a really fun song and a great way to end off the standard version of this album. And then Lighthouse is definitely a personal moment on this album for sure. Favorite Kind of High is just a really fun song to listen to and kind of deserved more as a single, if you let me tell it. I really enjoyed My Mistake, and it's the only song she didn't write on the album, funnily enough. My favorite is obviously Chemistry, the song, as I said 1,000 times before, but it basically just sums up the album really well, talking about the chemistry of a relationship, how relationships with people can change over time, and how that affects the person. I love her vocals on here, light, delicate, airy vocal, and I just feel like it was done well. I love the production in here, the guitars, the songwriting is definitely some of the best in her entire career. Such a short song, I've replayed it so many times, but I feel like ultimately she achieved her goal and being personal but not sharing too much, and I just really enjoyed what she was able to do. This album ultimately deserves a little bit more appreciation. Next up, 30 by Adele. This is her best album. I really don't care. Like, how are you gonna sit up here and tell me that this is her best album? And so, Strangers by Nature, she literally says, I'll be taking flowers to the cemetery of my heart. Just heart wrenching. And I really like the production on it. I like the vocals. I just think it's a great way to open up the album. And then Easy on Me is her signature ballad that we've come to know and love, of course. My Little Love is a song basically dedicated to her son. You have the voicemail on it, you know, a very personal moment on there. Cry Your Heart Out is just a really great up tempo, and I'm glad that she had a couple more of these on her album. Oh My God is a good moment on the album as well. I really liked what she did on songs like Woman Like Me and Love Is a Game. I feel like it's a very personal album for her. It's a really enjoyable album to listen to overall in terms of the production, her vocals, the writing. Next up, Janet Jackson, All For You. What she did with this album, history, and that's all that can really be said for the most part. I mean, All For You is one of the best pop songs of all time. I don't care. Masterful. I love the video. I love the choreography, of course. Doesn't really matter is a top 5 Janet Jackson song in my opinion. I love that one to pieces. And, you know, she even talks about her divorce on songs like Son of a Gun, and that has a great feature from Carly Simon. She said, ha ha hoo hoo, thought you get the money to agree the motherfuckers try to have that cake and eat it too. Oh, she ate him down. That entire song. She had a song on this album called Truth, and she's basically just saying, like, didn't I work my ass off to even get to this point? And yes, like, you know, he had somewhat of a contribution in it, but to basically act like you're the reason for her success is ridiculous because, you know, there's just a lot of work that she put in before she even knew who you were. So, you know, she really ate him up on that song. I really enjoyed Trust to Try on this album. I like whenever she gets into her rock bag. Would You Mind is a song that I feel like pretty much no one else besides her could pull off. It's just a really great song overall to listen to. I really liked Someone to Call My Lover. That was a great song for her as well. She ended off the album with Better Days. She said, you know what, I've been through a lot, but better days are coming for me, basically. She talks about the divorce on the album and makes it known, but, you know, she still has an optimistic outlook generally, and she gave us a lot of great pop songs as well, so really appreciate this album overall. This one more so of an honorable mention because I feel like I just like more of the songs on these other albums, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention Fleetwood Mac Rumors, because why all them breaking up and getting divorced whenever they were on this album, and they had hit after hit after hit. Stevie Nicks and christinemcvie are the best members of Fleetwood Mac. I don't care. You can crucify me, but it is what it is. I have to look at the material and what they gave me. She gave me Dreams on this album, which is like their most successful song. Landslide, which is a classic, and I really like it, talking about kind of getting scared about becoming older and what that does to you. And, you know, Silver Springs, I like the live version of Silver Springs way more. I get why I didn't make the album. I just don't like the vocal on it. I don't. I think with a mature voice, it kind of works out more. I really like Christine McVie's, you know, contributions to this album as well. You know, Go Your Own Way is definitely a classic. You know, The Chain tends to be a fan favorite. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this album, and, you know, a lot of people, you know, it's like one of their favorite albums of all time. I really do enjoy it. I think it's a good album. You know, honorable mention had to put it on here because y'all would kill me if I didn't. So, you know, there's some stuff I don't really know if it counts. Like, I was thinking about maybe including Paramore After Laughter. I don't know if it really counts according to most. So, you know, kind of honorable mention there, but I really did enjoy the album as well. But yeah, this is basically my Divorce Album Hall of Fame. So I want to know down below in the comments, what is your Divorce Album Hall of Fame? Are you agreeing with my picks? Are you disagreeing? What are your favorite divorce songs of all time? I really appreciate these artists being so personal and talking about, you know, the turmoil and all that stuff, because it just isn't easy. So this video is more of an appreciation video than anything, but let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, and let's continue that discussion.